what's happening YouTube? Rod J back to take a look at another beer. Going to take a look at another one from here in Cincinnati. This comes from Mount Carmel Brewing Company. This is their Nut Brown Ale. So, had this one in the past before, but it was a long time ago. Don't remember too much from it. So I wanted to go ahead and get a review done to take a look at it again. Tells you right on the label, malt beverage brewed with maple syrup. So that's a little bit different. Mahogany in color, entering with hints of maple, followed by a toasted malty body, balancing a clean malty finish. So it does sound pretty good. Mount Carmel does put out a lot of good beers here locally, so looking forward to dig into this one. Let's go ahead and get it into a glass. And for this, I'm actually going to use my Mount Carmel snifter glass. So there you go. You get it into the glass. Actually came out pretty much about a 1.5 finger head. Get that to the light. Definitely have that reddish mahogany brown type color as described. The head is pretty much a beige head. Some nice creaminess there. As far as anything getting through, we do get some light through. Can see some of the carbonation taking place. Looks pretty lively in there. Get it out of the light though, and you're not getting anything to really pick up to look at the beer. But outside of that, everything else looks really good about it. Now, this is considered to be an American brown ale. Does come in at 6% ABV. I don't have the IBUs listed, but if I find that out, I'll go ahead and get that in the description for you as well. Go ahead and get an aroma. Oh, very nice aroma. That maple just comes right out of the glass. Nice, strong aroma. Not having to sniff too hard to get the notes. You get some of that chocolate in the background, a little bit of that coffee in the background as well. Very malt forward beer, not getting too much with the hops, but I do get a little bit of that piney or earthy scent, just not very strong, very malt dominant. That really smells really good. Go ahead and get a taste. Wow, you get hit with that malt flavor up front, which is very nice. Do get some of the bitterness on the tongue there. Great mouthfeel. Flavors are just swirling all around. This one, I would say, was probably going to be pretty much a medium to full body as far as the mouthfeel itself, closer to a little bit more of a full body. It is crisp and refreshing on the back end for the finish. A little bit of astringency. Don't really have any bitterness there though. Cleans up very nice. Good cigar beer. This would definitely be one to have a cigar with. Get some of the lacing that you can see there on the glass as well as it goes down. Definitely a good sign to have on a beer. This one is very pleasant. Definitely an American brown ale for the style. As far as duration, you get a nice duration. Flavors do hang around for a little bit. Carbonation, a little bit on the amped up side, but nothing really too bad. Good thing on the back end, there's no alcohol coming through, so it does finish kind of nice along those lines. As far as some of the ratings on this beer, well, Untapped has an average of 3.57 bottle caps. Rate Beer has an average, they actually have a 58 overall and 66 for style. And Beer Advocate actually has it at 88 for very good. Man, that's a big jump between Rate Beer and Beer Advocate. What I'm actually finding, I'm curious anybody's thoughts out there, is that Rate Beer tends to be a little bit more off on their stuff than I would say Beer Advocate does. Beer Advocate definitely seems to have a little bit more of a knowledge base when it comes to beers, I believe, but curious what anybody else may think about that out there as well. I definitely think a 58 is way too low for this beer. Now, as it does sit here, it does lose a little bit more on the back end. It's not as crisp as when it first came out of the bottle, but you still get the good upfront flavor and everything along those lines. So I think for an American brown ale, it actually is pretty solid. Is it one I would drink again? Yeah, I think I would. If you like that maple syrupy type taste, so you're basically liking a little bit more of a sweetness in the beer, but not like too sweet like people are drinking like that Not Your Father's root beer and stuff like that. But that little bit of a tinge of sweetness, I think this is a nice play for a brown ale. Definitely worth giving it a shot. But for me, I'm actually going to give this one a B. I think it's a solid beer. It hits the style it's supposed to be going for. A little bit of a nice play with the maple syrup in there. You know what? I'm gonna give it a B plus. I'm gonna give it a B plus because I think that gives it a little bit of uniqueness there. So B plus for me on this one, which is the Mount Carmel Nut Brown Ale out of Cincinnati, Ohio. If you've had this one before, let me know what you think. Love to get some of your feedback. And definitely one worth a try, especially if you're a brown ale fan. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say cheers so I can finish drinking this one down. If you like what you saw, as always, please remember to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you subscribe as well so that you're up to speed on new videos as I release them. With that, I'll say cheers. I look forward to catching you in the next video. Remember to keep drinking good craft beer. Cheers.